Hello everybody, it's me Arzilla, and today I have an idea. So basically, I'm just gonna read a mclennon fanfic for fun. I'm here on my friendly YouTube channel, because I can. Well, yeah. And also, as you can tell by the title of the video, it's mclennon, and also by his picture. Also, just to warn you, in the book, this is in Paris in 1961, it's on Wattpad. I forgot what it's called. Basically, like, the warnings are, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Rock and roll isn't really a warning. I just want to say that, get that out of the way. Sorry, this is introduction, some sort of introduction of some sort. It's so long. Well, just because, it's introduction. Disclaimer. Yeah, disclaimer. That's the word. Not stupid fucking cars. Anyways, let's get on to the story. Bye. Ahem. September 28th, 1961. Band rehearsals were quite a fun experience. Aside from George and Pete sort of feeling like background noise, Paul just kept getting these fits of laughter with John from John's comedic wit. And John kept finding that he enjoyed such a sight. He kept singing the words of Ain't She Sweet in the worst American accent he could. Paul rolled his eyes, messing up a couple times just to have a proper laugh. And if interacting with Paul in those cute ways he would during practices were enough, they often found themselves taking meaningless walks with one another to one of John's favorite spots. Well, maybe not too meaningless, but the older boy kept telling himself that it was. John hated how much he cared about Paul. He knew how everyone viewed the same-sex attraction. It wasn't too kind of words either. He had some sort of internalized hatred about himself when it came to finding both boys and girls pretty. Paul fit his sights more than he liked to admit, even more recently. For no reason, while the two would be apart, he wrote poems about Paul.
It's hard to ignore you.
He constantly
it's hard
worried
to
if you were okay
when it comes
now. How his day is doing,
so clear,
and even if he thought about him as well, but he knew the answer was probably not. John knew it was all wrong to start falling for his best friend, but he couldn't help it anyhow.
Partly satisfied
He
with how his
deep
feelings
thought,
came across the paper.
Scribbled
He
messily
closed
on
the
it,
book
and new
quickly
poem.
put it away. John
Everything
needed
inside
to
us
see Paul.
Maybe the
constant
reminder
thoughts
that there are
and
great
sweet
things
feelings
he would never
enough
share.
to
One
keep
More Day
holding
by
on to
J.L.
the small hope that one day he might confess his love. But then he scoffed to himself, knowing that it was probably too good to be true.
Later, time skip.
The walk to Paul's home was uneventful. Save for the thoughts Lennon had to entertain himself, he thought of something for them to do. Tonight, and he had an excuse for his friend's dad when they asked him where they would be going. John was going to say that he found their group a late-night gig at the last minute. With one hand in his black leather jacket, he knocked on the door with the other. Soon, his father came to see who was there. He softly sighed. When he opened the door to reveal John, instead of greeting him, he immediately called for his son to see what he wanted.
Paul, your friend is here.
Paul, your friend is here. May I come in the bay? John asked, secretly wanting to annoy Paul's father. The man sighed, moving over and allowing him entrance. I think the person would say his, but who cares? He knew Paul would probably take a few minutes anyways. Now John could just go upstairs to his room and wait instead of bothering him. But of course, being the most annoying shit he was, he decided to take a seat right on the couch. So, he started, a sly smirk appearing on John's face. What did the big man McCartney do today? Work hard enough? Jim just rolled his eyes. Taking a rightful place back in his recliner, he opened his newspaper back up and began to reply. Yeah, considering I've been off today, not really. But I'm sure a fire breaks out. But I will be back as soon as possible, he retorted, matter-of-factly. Paul's dad was a firefighter. Now John felt like an asshole. Yet he bit the inside of his cheek in hopes to suppress his laughter. He didn't know why his mere presence aggravated his best mate's father, because he wished things were different. He wondered why he couldn't joke around with him without him being jumping the gun on him immediately. John muttered a quick apology and saw himself the steps to his mate's room. Sorry, whatever. He let himself in, finding Paul tying his shoes. Weirdly enough, though, he wasn't wearing a top yet. Oh my god! His stomach felt itself get a knot at the bare sight of him. At the sight of him, so bare. He definitely had a look at his soft body, but Paul wasn't paying him any mind. He longed with trail kisses down his chest to his belly button to pin him down, make him feel better than he had ever felt before. Damn, he's dirty-minded. Hey, John. Paul smiled up at him, shaking him from his fantasy. He watched... wait, let me reset that. Hey, John. He watched as Paul then opened his drawer and sorted through it to find a suitable shirt. It was such a boring day after the bird who came over left. He shagged her quick and easily when she came around. Why not? He's single, cute, and likes a good fuck every so often. He'll admit it. I mean, Paul's a ladies' man. Wish that girl was me. Sorry. They didn't actually say that in the story, but John was having a great time pondering over how beautiful his body was when he discovered a fresh, small love bite on his collarbone. Dun dun dun! John instantly became possessive over him. Even though he was technically nothing but a mate, he wasn't going to let that go unnoticed. John was going to put it out there that someone he could see it, and he didn't necessarily like it either. He hated that, in better terms. Hey, Paul. He rolled his eyes, flopping himself down on Paul's study chair. Seems you've had a last day today. Best cover that before your dad spots it. Me don't care. Paul laughed. Stop looking at her anyway. And yeah, that cute blonde, Wendy, she was here. Oh my god, Wendy's as in like the place? Okay, didn't say that, but, you know. Bum bum bum. John blushed and looked away, huffing. Paul noticed how odd his behavior was, as John never seemed so jealous before. He assumed that John was only jealous Paul was getting action, and he wasn't, of course. He didn't put two and two together just yet, but he definitely noticed something was up. Oh my god, John. Paul, you're so stupid, but I love you for that. Okay, yeah, that didn't happen. Okay. John scoffed. Well, I thought maybe I'd skip up and get us out of here. I'm in need of some alcohol. Figured you'd want to tag along. He changed the subject. He had no longer wanted to focus anymore on the topic of Paul's sex life. It infuriated him to his core. In a way, he wished he was a girl so he'd have a chance, but he wasn't. So he'd never have one. Of course, but what are you going to tell Dad? He slipped. Oh wait, no, that's Paul, never mind. Of course, but what are you going to tell Dad? He slipped a plain white t-shirt on as well as his own leather jacket. He opted for the brown one since John was already wearing black. I got that covered, Polly. He assured him with a smirk. We've got a last-minute gig to go to. John rose his eyebrows twice to show comedic effect. And that is the end of chapter 1. See you guys for part 2 and chapter. I know that was chapter 1, not chapter 2. See you guys in chapter 2. Anyways, bye. Peace and love. Make sure to subscribe. Follow my Wattpad, Tenderbear34. Also, I did not write this story. Also, make sure to follow me on TikTok, Hearts for Maka, and have a good day. Peace and love.